Hello, and welcome back to Cozy with Chelsea. I am your host, Chelsea, and today on the podcast, we have my beautiful, wonderful, amazing guest, Valerie Sorrentino. She is a lifelong friend of mine. She's also a self-care specialist.
Self-care specialist.
So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks, Chelsea.
Of course. I was wondering if you can start by just explaining a little bit about what you do, how you would describe it in your own words, what a self-care specialist is.
Okay. What a self-care specialist is, it's such a good question because way back when it was like, what are you going to do with your life? What do you want to be when you grow up? And then, of course, I consulted a psychic or two, and it was like, it hasn't been made yet. It's going to be in the future. It's appropriate now looking back going, oh yeah, it's true. Coaching or self-care or doing that as a vocation, as a way of life, and then as a service provider is kind of an on-the-job creation, in my opinion and in my experience. Of course, you could probably go to school for it and become maybe a nurse or maybe a psychologist or maybe a meditative type facilitator and that type of thing. And so all of the modalities that I have taken a deep dive in for my own self-care, self-preservation, self-exploration, and then expression turns into a very caring application, right? So when I started teaching yoga initially, I didn't realize it was going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. I thought I was giving a service to others. And when I was deep diving in feng shui studies, it was always about how I could help other people. And then sort of this one day, it was like, oh, all of this is so that I can feel well. And that is where I come from, and then that's what I help other people find, is that it's about them so that you can then provide all the things that you're here to provide. So does that help? So self-care, though, in a pragmatic sense, is meditation, deep breathing, rhythmic breath, or the like, pranayama practices. Self-care is creating sacred space, space within you, space around you, spaces in your life, space in your calendar. And then what are we doing with that? Like if I have this clear mind, I'm at peace with myself, my body is now my friend, and I have kind of this sanctuary in place. What do I do with all that? Well, creating this openness in the mind activates what we're here to do, which is infinite possibilities.
Yes, that's great. That's very helpful.
Yeah, so self-care means you can do whatever, be whatever, have whatever it is that you want.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, let's do it.
And today I know we wanted to touch on a few different things, but specifically since it is spring, I know we wanted to talk a little bit about spring cleaning.
Okay.
And allowing for space clearing.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So maybe if you can speak a little bit to what spring cleaning means to you. Do you do it every year? Is it something you do with your clients?
Okay.
Tell me about it.
So spring cleaning, I'm self-labeling now in this new climate that scatterbrain, ADD, I don't know. I think it's all of us now, right? But for myself, I've never been linear. And there are many reasons why. We don't need to go there. So every spring doing the same thing in a certain methodical way, not really happening for me. Having the connection to what is the impulse of the truth in nature on a regular basis in a cycle, yes. So am I able to do it every year? No. Being out of balance, you might not be able to spring clean for your own well-being. No, that might not happen. Present day, it's like, oh, there's this fresh energy that is naturally occurring. It's arising, right? And there's this resistance to it. There's the frozen ground of winter, and then there's the hint of warmth coming in, and there's this pitter-patter of growth trying to emerge. So there's a lot going on in this season. And then we're looking for the gold, right? We're looking for the proof of it with flowers, and there's new blooms, and there's all this aliveness that's coming, but it's not quite here, but it's coming. So we have this energy. It's in the elements, 5-element theory, it's wood energy, it's vertical, it's rising, it's active, it's growth. And so we can have that in any way, shape, or form. So we want to impulsively grow, we have that impulse, and it's like, oh, but I have all this backlog. called winter jackets or, snow boots by the door, because it could still snow. So it's like, where am I? I'm in between. It's a transitional season. So spring cleaning is, for me, for self-care, is like, okay, being prepared with something fresh and new. My self-care that really I thrive in is clearing, and I love stuff, so it's not like I'm saying this austere, clear metal scenario or sterile scenario. It's more like, what's excess? What are the layers upon layers upon layers? Do I need the down blankets on my couch, or is it more like, okay, it's time for a lighter cotton, right? So in spring cleaning, though, I'm learning that it's like, yes, just bring forward all your light stuff and put all your heavy stuff away. It sounds so simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It sounds so doable. Do you spring clean?
I wouldn't say that I have a regular practice of spring cleaning, but I did do it this year.
See?
I also moved into a new home in the fall of last year. So my spring cleaning, I actually talked about this recently, but I can't do the whole house at once.
Yeah,
like
no.
that's not
Yeah, no.
that's not my
Unless
thing.
you have a team.
That's not for me. But I did end up getting to most of the house. But I did section by section. And it looked like, yes, clearing clutter, but then also adding. I was adding
Okay, perfect.
decor.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it so much. Because it's like, okay, the snow needs to clear away. I'm just talking about nature, maybe not in the desert. But the snow needs to clear away, but so do all the winds of leaves and all the die-off and all that. That gets trimmed away and cleared away so that the newness can sprout, or so we can plant some new potentials, right? And so, yes, both is happening at the same time. However, that's what I talk about there's kind of like 4 different sections. So spring cleaning, if you want it to be more digestible and you want to feel like I'm not a total fill in the blank and can't do it, it's more like, okay, guess what? Decluttering is not cleaning. Decluttering is not cleaning. Organizing is not decluttering, right? And then organizing and cleaning and decluttering is not decorating. So those are 4 distinct different activities. So if you're like, I really want this place to be completely pulled together, I like to do a clean sweep of the obvious and declutter. It's like put everything away or in a bag and give it away depending on your attachment and anxiety levels and your team. Like I said, it's like, someone take this stuff away or I'm putting it all back in. So that's decluttering. That's like, for myself, when I first started this type of self-care, it was clearing the corners because things get stuffed into the corners. And I like, you know what? I'm going to pull everything out of the corners, put it on the table or wherever it fits, and then decide, where does this actually go? Is it part of my life anymore? So decluttering. Organizing, if you're not decluttering and you're organizing, you're just moving stuff from here to there. You're just putting stacks of stuff in different stacks. So you may not feel organized or lighter. Cleaning, that's like, if I'm going to clean something, then there's a good chance that I'm going to declutter, right? But not everybody has that. Like this housekeeper that I know, she says that she goes to homes and it is packed wall to wall to wall to wall, stack, stack, stack. So she just cleans the basic stuff. So that's where it's like, if you want a deep clean, then clearing some surfaces, it matters.
Yeah. To deep clean, you
and then
need to declutter.
Right, and then you might then go, oh, I could use a basket for this, or I could use. Organizing is a whole nother engineering, actually. So layer. Decorating. So if you decorate first before you were decluttering or cleaning, then you could feel a little dissatisfied. It's like, oh, I wanted it to be so much better, so much more fresh. So the idea is to be fresh and have potential for new growth and possibilities. Yeah, those are the 4.
Yeah, I like breaking it down into 4 categories. I did do each of those. I don't know if it was all in order.
I don't know that it would be in order. It's like 4 distinct things. That's why if you are a little bit more tangled mind, like I might be, and many people that I know, I'm in awe of someone who can start a project, work it all out, and then finish that project and then be done. And it's like, wow, you really did that. For myself, it was a distinction where it's like, okay, you're not decorating right now. You're just putting things away, or you're totally decorating right now. What needs to go?
Yeah.
So it's just helps have those 4 distinctions for myself.
No, that is helpful. I find myself when I'm not a linear project person. I'm just not.
Interesting.
And even in the house, I'll be working on something and then get totally distracted and do something else and then come back to the thing. But it gets done.
Yeah.
So I've allowed myself to just do it in the
Roll
way
with
that it
it.
works for me.
I feel that creativity is nonlinear. Cycles and seasons are very trackable, but the creation mode, we don't know what it's going to turn out as. We don't know what, it could be intense, lighter, later, sooner. The flow and rhythm, that's where we get into better balance. But the care is, where am I now? Not where it's supposed to be, where it needs to be, where it should be. Yeah. Creation is when we get to kind of flow. So I think there's a good distinction here between, I'm going to do this weekend versus, oh wow, I have a free weekend and I get to flow from space to space and sort of from unknown to unknown, and it did get all done, but it was in a more feminine way.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that way.
Didn't that make you breathe more? Didn't that make you like,
Yeah, I felt a little relaxation.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Like there's straight arrow, masculine energy, and there's meandering river, feminine energy.
Yeah.
And we are both, however.
Yes.
Don't want to be an arrow all the time.
When you're spring cleaning, I'm curious if you or your clients, because I'm assuming you work with them on, you do space clearing in general,
Yeah.
right?
So this is to set up for space clearing.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you have somebody who wants to do something like that in their home, in their space, do you ever find that it's hard to just start? Not even the doing, but starting.
Okay, I like that question because yes, that's the point, is like I was in such stagnant earth energy out of balance, which layers and layers and layers and layers. Like I said, I love layers. I love them. Yet, if you're going to do landscaping, you don't plant the flowers first in the flower garden. You put in first the hardscape, and then you put in the anchor plants, then you put in the turf, and then or whatever, and then you could do some accents. So it is true. But space clearing can help that. There's a order, like you said, clean everything and then you're ready to space clear. Well, isn't that a perfect world?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's more like, wow, something's holding me back. I feel stagnant. Maybe I need to do a little clearing so that I can take some action. Yeah. So maybe the energy clearing is in the home. There are certain tools, techniques, all kinds of them. Many people are aware of the sage. I'm saging my home, and that's a really great one to clear space. It's not the only one. Sometimes we need to take action, like move, right? Move our body, move just the energy in our flow. From a sleeping winter into a breath of fresh air spring means I need more air moving through my body, right? Or open the windows and get some fresh movement in your space. One really great sort of clear-all is to sweep the front doorway. Sweep the front doorway, clean the front door, check the lights, clean the windows or the fixtures, see that there's something welcoming, and then you are clearing your own energy that way.
That is a tool I learned from you many years ago.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just did sweep the front door. And I do it I do it often. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people do it every day.
Okay.
Like some traditions, like literal cultures. It's the every day, all the way to the curb, out with the old energy.
Yeah.
Welcoming a path to new energy coming in, auspicious energy.
And I do feel better when I do it.
Yeah. Yep. When we're doing, so it's funny because I'm a teacher of being, like how to be in the moment, how to have a sense of well-being. How can you override into being the person you'd rather be versus who you have defaulted into as up to this point in life. And so doing, we're usually trying to overcome overdoing, doing, but really there's a balance between the two. And it's a pendulum. If we're always doing, then it'll be an act of self-care to do nothing and just be. Takes a little while to get there. And then next thing you know, you're being. Well, what are you doing in order to be that? So sweeping, so action, physical movement. This is not breakthrough information, right? Physical movement is so key. However, for me, I was, going. It's like, okay, just drop, stop. and then center, breathe, center, and then take an action that is giving to yourself.
I can do it more now, which is just be, but it certainly was not my norm for a very long time.
I don't think it's our cultural norm, and I don't think it's anyone's expectations of us.
Yeah.
And or allowed. It's not really truly allowed. So we kind of have to take that for ourselves in a selfish, which is not selfish, in a self way. And so I can attest to it being like a snowball where it's like, oh, this is working, this is helping, this feels right, and that I'm stealing it away as an indulgence, and then also as a light of like, oh, this is something important. And then life then maybe it's like, oh, I forgot to do it. Oh yeah, I let that go somehow. And then we return not to our old selves, but to our new present self, going, okay, who am I now and what do I need now in the being space?
So when you're practicing being, if that's how we want to refer to it,
Sure.
What does that actually look like for you?
Good visual. In a best case scenario.
Yeah.
So I'm a slow mover in the morning. I like to hear the sounds and, take in the day. And luckily it's earlier and earlier. I can wake up early now. And so I like to be aware, right? So that might not look like I'm doing anything. And I like to journal now it's in a more, I was going to say disciplined way, but it's more like in a more structured, very much raising the vibration in a certain way. It's not a journal dumping. That's different. So that's a being scenario. Being in a deep sense of rhythmic inhale and exhale, and also ability to have cardiovascular health through breathing techniques to clear the mind, to clear the energy field, and to become more clear and vibrant. That would be referred to as pranayama, or in the Kundalini tradition, it is like the whole practice. For myself, little old me at my house by myself, that I'm not doing any of that, it's more like, oh, let's brush up on what we know. Let's be better at that so that I'm not just reactive and rushing around. So being is more like, yeah, go sweep the front doorway and remember who I am at that moment. Go chop the veggies and make some soup. That's where I get into my being. I'm expected more just through life in general to be doing things, and it does take me out of my best self.
Yeah. Well, even when you're saying just being aware, I think that makes sense to me. Because that's how you're coming back to the present moment.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a distinction again. I love the word distinction today. So I wonder, because we can be thinking about what we're doing and aware of what we're doing, but we're still sitting there thinking it. And even though we're practicing like mindful awareness, but it's chatter. And then there's that dropping into being. So my latest aha moment, which, because I've been experiencing a little anxiety recently, and it surprises me. And a friend of mine was like, yeah, we'll take a look at the world. And I was like, oh yeah, it's true. It's pretty intense. And I'm processing a lot of that. Obviously, we all are. And so the ability to go, okay, I'm not able to do this in my wakeful state. Well, being awake in the night is when I do my best, most natural processing. So middle night, awareness, seeing the thoughts moving through the mind, letting them go, run some energy, deep breathing. And then now it's like, oh yes, I'm arriving as to who I am in my beingness. And then it was an aha moment to go, oh, you've forgotten to do this in the day.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Because I've had periods of time, my anxiety has been kicked up a little bit as well, personally. But there's periods of my life where it's like every night I'm awake at 3 a.m.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you weren't. Because that's what I'm going to say. There are periods in my life where I'm not awake. But it's right now, those are like wonderful memories.
No. Sorry to bring it up.
No.
But yeah, I would have, just like every night waking up at 3 a.m. and it was like intense anxiety, dread. And then I would always be fighting it. fighting it. And then finally one day I was like, okay, what if we let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Let's write the stories. Let's read the book. Let's go. You know what I used to do? I would wake up and go, oh, yeah, that's right. I had a milkman. And at like 2:30 in the morning, I'd get up, write the milk order, write the check for that month. And it was like the question of the day. It would be like, when did you do that? I'm like, oh, it was about 2:30. And I just got up.
You had a milkman?
Yeah.
Like a real, like a man that brought you
Yeah,
milk.
I think it was a man. I had a milk person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. It was awesome. I ordered chocolate milk,
You did.
regular milk, chocolate milk, yogurt.
Wow.
You could get cream if you wanted. Ice cream probably, but it could melt. So that's why it was delivered so early in the morning, because it was freezing cold out.
Yeah. Well, good thing you were awake to
Right.
get the order ready.
Yeah, get the order ready. Well, let's just look at that.
Okay.
Let's say that we have a lot of stuff undone. And so in the night, when we're
Yes.
sleeping, we might wake up to this undone stuff, right? It's like there's a lot to still work out. We're processing when we sleep. I process my stuff and other people's stuff, but I also am aware of many, many ahas, right? So they say that in the middle of the night, between a certain set of hours, is your highest intuitive time. And so, okay, they also say in Chinese medicine that if you're awake between these hours, it's this organ, which is this emotion, which is this applied to your life, and you can really chart that. So there are many theories. We get to discover what it is for ourselves. I read a thing where it said there used to be a night society. Like life wasn't sleep 8 hours a night in original times. But some people would get up, they'd eat, they'd even talk on the phone, they'd come together, then they'd go back to bed around 3:30 or 4 in the morning and then sleep until the sun came up or something. And I'm like, I believe it. I'm part of that society.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that too.
Yeah.
Kind of makes more sense.
Easily.
Yeah.
For many years, I only needed like 4 hours sleep. At least that's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed a lot of my first period in school.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't make it to class.
So-
But I realized, hello, self-care, let's pay attention.
Yeah.
Who am I being? Well, I'm being a person who has a sensitivity to caffeine, and I'm drinking an iced tea at lunch or dinner. That means there's no sleep happening.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was sensitive to caffeine. This is an on-the-job training mechanism. So it was like, oh, I became aware that these jitters or this angst or this extreme anxiety and premonition build was like, I heard the ice cubes of my iced tea while I was sucking on the straw going, and then I realized, whoa, this equals this.
Yeah.
So what we're consuming, just being aware of what we're consuming in our eyes, our ears, our mouth, our body is very much a masterful self-care tenant.
Yeah, that's true. I also think it's interesting what you're saying about processing. If it's not processed during the day, then that's perhaps why you're doing it.
Yeah.
At 3 in the morning.
And even if we're not processing it during the day and then we go to sleep and we have dreams and it's digestible enough, we processed it out. They call it brain soaking, I think is the new term, wherein they know that the certain chemicals come in and soak and wash the brain. I think brainwashing isn't the right term, but call me crazy. But if it's just so much, that's why right now it's so much. We have all the...
Well, yeah, aren't we all taking in just absolutely too much information?
Right, so there's no way we could process it out. That's where that whole coming into your own quietude and then these new, incredible, new innovative things called nature is very helpful for us. And it's true. I'm even in the spot of being convinced that it's something outside of me, that I don't need that or require time in nature as a regular basis. And so, of course, my body is responding.
So you would say that perhaps practicing a little bit more self-care as a regular practice and getting out in nature and breathing and being present might help with that.
There's no might about it.
Yeah.
And the thing is for myself, one of my main tenets in self-care is knowing what my intentions are. And that was a game changer. So number one, what is my intention? My intention is to be in nature. My intention, It's not really my intention. That's more of a way, a how-to. The intention is to be well, right? My intention is to be well and at ease and filled with vitality and being on purpose, right? Those are my intentions. And so where does that take place? Well, as a lifestyle, I'd like to be really in sync with nature. And that then is like, oh, it really is bringing me to the choices that I'm making, which would be to be in nature more. It does, like we forget in this type of lifestyle we have.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I go outside, everything's a little bit better.
We can take a little breath of fresh air.
Especially if I'm walking, if I'm gardening, any of those, any activity like that.
Yes,
It's just,
even cleaning. You know, that's where it's like, oh, I'm moving my body. I'm clearing out this old stuff. It's very grounding and refreshing. And so another layer of refreshing in the spring clean, energy clearing, and different theories is really cleaning the windows, getting the windows cleaned. It's important, right, for our energy.
I have not cleaned my windows.
Well, you just moved in. You just moved in. You have all year.
So I guess that brings us back to spring cleaning and space clearing. So we talked about a few ways that you can clear your space. Is there anything that we didn't touch on?
We didn't touch on like space clearing itself, like we talked about saging and all that. And there is an opportunity to do a join me for space clearing for your home or your office or your personal, wherever you are in space and time, regularly. So we do a Zoom group space clearing on a regular basis. So you're invited to learn more there.
Okay. Yeah, and I will link that as well.
Yeah. The bottom line is creating room to breathe, right? So then the spring cleaning, it's really about the why versus the what and the how. Even though it's definitely about doing it, we can know why we want to do something and never get to it. That's the intention piece. So creating some sacred space for ourselves so we have room to breathe is the bottom line.
So setting intentions with some aligned action.
Oh my God. Yes, doesn't that sound nice?
It does sound nice. We've talked a lot about space clearing, but would you say that breath work or simply breathing is also a way to, clear, I don't know if it's clearing your own space or clearing your own energy?
Well, it is the perfect bridge to like clutter and then mental chatter are two mirrors of each other, right? And then first of all, clutter could be creating the mental chatter, but really your mental state is a manifestation of what's going on around you. So it's like, which came first? So if I feel like I'm chattery, I'm like, oh, all right, let's look around and clear some stuff up to ground. Now, when I have that clear space, is it spacious? Well, depends on how we're breathing to notice if we have like the ability to feel energized, the ability to feel fresh, to have vitality, to have clarity. That and our own well-being can be measured. We talked about anxiety. You know, the anxiety, short breathing patterns is the path to having anxiety. If we're not deepening the breath, well, typically in my mind when I'm thinking this, it's like, oh, go exercise more, you know, go jogging, go push pull, you know, right? You're asking your body to breathe differently through your actions. Personally, my body asks me to be gentle, strong, but very, very gentle. And so I'm always reminded through a little bit of ache, pain, or, you know, warning signal that less is more and it takes strength to be in aligned action. So breathing is one of the main tenets that I've learned to create some internal space, to create space in the day, to create some time, to create some clarity, and then also to have the physical body absolutely prospering because of these techniques. It's not a thought, it's an action that we're breathing in a certain way.
And I think it is so true that again, you've always told me this, but I feel like your environment, like your actual physical surroundings, are often a reflection of the internal as well.
They say, this is when you could read it like the little, you know, quotes or sentences where it's so true that our environment is a series of choices that we made internally. You know, I'm going to put this here is a reflection of our internal state. And sometimes it means I'm not paying attention. I'm just haphazardly just drop things everywhere. or I intentionally cleared everything up. It could be a habit, habitual cleaning or clearing, or it could be like, oh, I intend to keep this clear, but it's still a reflection of the internal. So scatter, 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 little piles of laundry, little piles of junk mail, little piles of I don't know what to do with this, I'll set it down. There's not, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, let's make that connection, like building, building, building. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to put it all away if I know where to put it.
What would you say, like, a lot of resistance to keeping a closet clean means?
Oh my gosh. It means that I just love myself so much.
Okay.
So I don't think perfection is the goal. And like I said, I don't think sterile is the goal. We might think, oh, it feels so much better if this was clear and precise, right? And for some people, yes, it is required. Others, more organic, more fluid, more like a creator. So let's think of it as in the garden. Do you want your hedges to be really manicured and really tight? Maybe English garden. Or do you want it naturalized where things are in natural bloom and one thing's feeding into the other and it's a nice natural scape? It's similar. Now, on both occasions, it needs tending. So it's just not a matter of what it's supposed to be. It's more like, how do I function well? And I did do that in the beginning of the year. So I may not have spring cleaned, but it was the beginning of the year and I knew my intent. I did a ritual at the end of the year for major manifestation. And we could talk about that later. Let's talk about that later. And so it was like this one thing, and it was to clear out my closet. I took every single thing out of my closet and I washed and wiped down and disinfected my interior closet. This doesn't sound a lot like me, just letting you know. Other people might like, yeah, do that every other month. No. And then I only put back in what was me now, not what's supposed to be, what is me now. And then I was like, did I do it because I'm a cleaning fanatic and I'm going to do this on the 3rd and that's done? No, I have an allergy that's developing and getting worse and worse with mildew, dust, this, that, and the other. And I knew my closet was holding this and it's near where I sleep. So it was like, okay, this is a self-care thing that I'm going to do. And I literally did it. I couldn't believe it. I didn't need a team.
Wow. That's impressive.
I know. Wiped it all down. And I did it in between the fringe of the day of others' expectations because it was just so important. Thankfully, when we care for ourselves and we have our dream team on our side and we have our clarity, I know this sounds a little fluffy, but we have our magic, right? It magically is easier. We're enjoying. Joy is an energy that brings things in. Breathing deeply and smoothly. I knew I could breathe easily in my room. Creating that space really just domino affects things.
I'm glad that you perhaps can relate to it because I knew for months I needed to get in the closet.
Yeah.
And read.
So the
get rid of what I
resistance,
need.
the resistance piece is this. It's a big job.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a emotional roller coaster that is going to be like, who am I? What am I? Where have I been? Why am I here? You know, what are these choices? And then who do I wish I was? Because it's not in here. You know, I need to go to the store. And then it's like, okay, how do I even put this together? I have 75 other things I'm doing. However, it's a continuum. It's like there's going to be that time where it's that deep reset. But the rest of the time, it's like, oh, okay, you know, I'm putting things into place. I know who I am. I'm okay with being exploratory, creative. And then there's that moment where it's like, okay, no more. I need this to be in some order. Or I've outgrown it. So here's my theory on outgrowing. When we're little, you know when you've outgrown a pair of pants because your ankles got longer, right?
Yeah.
The pants are shorter. Not tighter. Well, okay, sometimes they're tighter.
Yeah.
And then you outgrew those, you can see it. But we aren't growing like we used to. So we don't know, did I outgrow this? Is it good? Do I need it? So I have a rule that I like to abide by, which is if I don't love it, get rid of it, number one. But what if I love everything? Because I love everything so much. Okay, if you don't need it, it's a tricky one. But it's like, I don't really need this fur coat if I live in the desert. Maybe I do for a couple of months. It's freezing here. So it's like, do I need it? Do I love it? Well, I love it, and I kind of need it-ish. Not need, but you know what I mean. If it's needless, like I don't need this at all. I have a canoe in my closet. I don't need it. Get rid of it.
Okay.
Okay. If I need it, but I don't love it, upgrade it. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
If I love it, it's because somebody gave it to me, but I don't, that part of my life, that's where it's like, take a picture of it and then pass it on when we're talking about creating space.
That's so good.
It's so helpful.
I'm going to clip that.
Also, another resistance to closet is because it's like, holy, it's a lot, right? So breaking it down where it's like, I'm going to fill a bag of things I know I've outgrown is a clear intention. Okay, I'm going to pull these 6 things. If it's broken, if it needs mending, if I'm procrastinating, it goes in the bag, and one bag can go to the curb on a very regular basis.
Okay. Yeah.
I call it the bye-bye bag.
Yeah.
And it's either in my closet or it's close by.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful. I did just do the closet, but now as you're speaking, I'm like, there's a few more things.
Because it's a new season.
I could let go of.
Because it's a new season.
Yeah.
Because we're like, I did it. I thought I knew. No, it's a new season. It's kind of like, oh, I thought I knew my hairstyle. It's a new season. And my color palette changes.
Yeah.
All that.
That's been happening to me. I'm wearing pink.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Pink. I got pink.
I mean, not today, but
I got pink nail
I
polish.
do have pink toenails too.
Isn't that so funny? I apologized to a couple of people. I'm like, hey, guys, I never... But we get to surprise ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's what spring energy is.
I never wore pink because I felt like I was pink. And so it was just double pinking.
How cute.
But now I'm like, who cares?
It's
I wanna wear
so
pink.
legally blonde.
Yeah.
Resistance also is because the load of what we're carrying in life, and then we're going to turn to ourselves and care for ourselves in a certain way. We just don't have the energy for that. It's real. And that's where it's like, you know what? This time I'm talking about a team of like, who's like-minded? Who sees me and I see them? Not into my productivity space, but in my soul and in my way of being that I would like to interact with in the world, with others that are tender, genuine, that are listening and seeing and sharing and celebrating, versus it being like that masculine straight arrow energy all the time. That's where the resistance can come in, and where it's like, it's not the time. We talked about it earlier, where it's a project I have to do versus let me play with my stuff. Maybe having a friend or two over to play in your jewelry box, or go out where it's like, should I wear this? Should I wear that? And just have some girl time. I mean, that's some serious energy clearing.
That would be helpful. Maybe I could breathe before.
Wouldn't that be funny if you invite your friends over for like play and fun? We're going to go out, we're going to get dressed together, but let's breathe first. You have to have a certain set of people to be okay with that.
Yeah, only certain people would be
Those
such
are my
thing.
people.
Yeah.
Those are my people.
Same.
It occurred to me recently, as I said, in the night, where I was like, okay, yeah, breathe, reset. You might find that when you're sleeping, your hands land on a certain part of your body. And sometimes it's like on your throat. Sometimes you could be covering your third eye. Sometimes you might be holding different parts of your torso, and you could even change it on purpose. Okay, great. Feel into the breathing, because that's going to help you sleep better, right? So the realization was, am I even breathing properly anymore? Because it does domino into not great health. So the intention to be well is strong. So that intention was like, breathing better, breathing more smoothly can become complicated. It can become trivialized. Just breathe. Take a 10-second breath, and then everything's going to be fine. Your panic attack's over. I know, because coming from 25 years or more in the yoga space and the self-study space, meditation space, that inhaling and exhaling is the practice. Everything else is the stuff you do while you're practicing the inhale and the exhale, including if you were running, jogging. You're going to breathe faster, but you're going to breathe consciously so that you don't get a cramp or a this or a that or lightheaded. So it's a skill. Sitting still and breathing is something that can be done for people that really intend to have highest levels of well-being that they can have. Base breathing is what I'm referring to it as. Came to me kind of in a moment where I've never heard of it called base breathing, but we're calling it base breathing. It's that basis of coming back to your breath in a regular way and expanding that breath. The second really important breathing technique is the rapid breathing, cardiovascular health. It's not short, panted, rushed breath, but a deep vitality in breathing while seated. And you can do it standing, you can do it bending, but learning it while seated so that you can freshen your senses. You can freshen your mind. Cobwebs are out of the brain. Eyes are bright. We're ready to go. That big burst of fresh air in a really skillful way. This is about lifestyle, like long-term lifestyle. And then the other breath technique, which I find is extremely not only vital, but it's also really popular, which is the alternate nostril breathing. So alternate nostril breathing so that we can balance that slow yin, calming, and that activating, revitalizing. And then we have that right in the middle, who I am, who I want to be, fresh, not stagnating, not hyperventilating, that really nice space. I call it maybe glide. Not to confuse breathwork, which is a very current, popular offering in the world, and pranayama or breathing techniques, which used to be and still might be referred to as breathwork.
What would you say are the differences between those two definitions?
Breathing, pranayama, which is the action of harnessing prana, life force energy through your inhalation and your exhalation in different forms, pranayama. The practice of vitality, grounding, and inner clearing health. It's a yogic practice. It is specific and has many, many different applications or aspects. In other words, I can go to the gym. It's like you have a lot of choices at the gym. Pranayama, you have a lot of choices in pranayama. Breathwork is going from this state of consciousness, transcending into another state of consciousness, and maybe transcending and transforming and healing. They're calling it healing work. And it is a specific avenue, it's a specific technique.
That makes sense.
To go to another place.
Yeah. Because I've done what you're describing as breath techniques, and I've also been in like a breathwork course that was hours long. And they are different modalities.
Yeah.
For sure. And I like all of them.
Different times and spaces for different reasons.
And so I know that you have, okay, you tell me, what's the course you have coming up, or how would you describe it?
Thanks for asking. The course is called Breathe With Me. The benefits are that you will get into a group of people that have like-minded intent, right? Which is to return to themselves in a calm, cool, collected, and maybe even energized way, right? Creating better balance. The other part of that is that it's on Zoom. So when we're on Zoom together, it's short, sweet, and potent, meaning we're not going to spend lengthy hours and all of this stuff, which we could. I can't wait to do that together. I've done it. I've studied all this stuff for so long that it's like, yeah, let's do it for hours and hours. But no, let's apply it to our lives right now, where stability is being called for, sustainability is being called for, your own sense of clarity and maybe even claiming your power, your purpose for the day is being called for. For myself, it's gotten a little blurry. And so returning to a very fundamental, basic, but really the basis of all things is calling for this simplified piece, which is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Zoom get together, 30 minutes, learning that base breath, learning the active breathing, adding some nuances to those, and then the balancing alternate nostril breathing. There's always more, but this is like learning it and then practicing it, coming back together, learning it, practicing it, learning it, getting better and better, and then seeing, sharing what that means for you, like night and day. Also, we're not alone in this journey, but we can feel like we are. So it's like, oh, where are my people? It's number one. And then we're going to add a little afterglow opportunity. So it's short and sweet, but some people have questions. Some people have sharing or stories or, don't have any other space to be in this kind of like, hey, did you breathe today?
Yeah.
Conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea. I'll be a part of it. And
Thank you.
I'm just excited to be a part of it, but also I love the community aspect
Yeah.
where, like you said, like-minded people, we're all breathing together.
Yeah, we're all breathing together.
Yeah.
And so 2 things. One is the timing is being worked out because I'm super low tech and high touch, which means it's a in real life situation through technology. There's a person I know and he's creating an app called Local. And so you might look that up. It's about harnessing technology to help people gather in real life. And it's a really neat thing. So that reminds me of this type of thing where it is about connection and real low tech, high touch, but then gathering together and sharing. So the second thing is that years ago, a long time ago, when I was first grounding into this incredible endeavor of breathing, and I was at a friend's house and we were staying at a friend's house. So the 3 of us, the 2 of them were in the other room and they were having a nice time, maybe some cocktails. And I come out of the bedroom and they're like, oh, where were you? I go, oh, I was just in the other room breathing. And they're like, okay. And so I had a mala strand and I did 108 very conscious breaths, and it takes some time. But now looking back, I think that is pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just in there breathing.
I was just in the other room
Nothing to
breathing,
worry
and
about.
it took me a little longer than I thought it would. But getting together in a little circle, that is on the horizon. Yeah.
Okay, great. Anything else?
I have to
you want
recap a couple things.
Sure.
One, definitely carve out time for yourself with one intention, right? One intention, whatever that is. And I like short-term intentions that support my long-term, but it's a now thing. The other is create space for yourself. Absolutely. If it's you on your own, creating space for yourself, create a nook, something that looks like you, like we talked about. What we're interfacing on the inside is what we're seeing on the outside. So put something on the outside that looks like you, right? That is you. And interface, that's going to change through time. Give yourself a little room to breathe. Maybe that means open the windows, sweep the front door step, or total spring clean, which I'm here to support. Either question and answer, Q&A, what's going on, or through space clearings once a month that's coming up through Zoom group. And we can do the spring clean clutter clearing challenge if we want to really go there. Sure. Bottom line, Breathe With Me starts April. We are in April now. It's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you want information, absolutely. I'm here for you.
Yep. And I'll put all of that. I'll put all of Valerie's information.
And who am I anyway? I'm Valerie Sorrentino, Sacred Self-Care Specialist, Manifesting Mentor.
I will link all of that. And then just before we end, what is making you cozy this week?
This week, I'm not going to say chocolate cake because, and carrot cake to come, but that question is so good. I love fabric. Right, I love fabric, so I came to Las Vegas and I didn't bring like 4 sweaters, 2 sweatshirts, and a jacket. And so I'm like, oh my God. But I did bring like soft fabrics and this and that. But what makes me feel cozy is like scarves. It's true that my stuff is very cozy and layery. So clearing all that out, making sure I have some wrap of some sort keeps me very, very cozy.
I've also always been a cozy clothing person. I like my long sleeves and my sweaters and all of those things. But as I get older, I just get excited to wear a tank top. It's the strangest thing.
No, I'm tank topper, but I have like 4 things in my bag, and I've got a linen shirt, I've got a sweater, I've got a parka, and then it's like I don't even need to wear all that. But what I do when I'm wearing a tank top, this is such personal information. When I went to Bali, I even brought it. So it was tank tops. It's so hot, it's tropical, but I bring like 4 or 5 necklaces, so it feels like it's a scarf, but it's really that weighted kind of covering. But these days, a little more minimal, just lighter, just tank top and flesh. I think it's a Las Vegas thing.
Yeah, I think so too. It's also hot.
in every sense of the word. Now I'm like, am I overexposed?
No, it's good. It's good.
No, not now, but in general. Like over and over, I'm like,
I know. Sometimes I'll wear, like on a call, I'll have a tank top on. Like, is this appropriate?
yeah, absolutely.
It is.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's hot. I will link Val's social media, her Instagram, her website, the link to the breath course. Breathe with me.
Breathe with me. And there's also a free gift for everyone out there. If you're like, what is she even talking about? Try this. Go to Valerie, OMVALERIE.com/gift. And you can get a 7-minute downloadable audio for breathing, visualization, and energy clearing and grounding. It's exceptional.
Thank you, Val, for being on the podcast. And I will talk to you all next week. Bye.